you lay it out as a beginning piece, and I'm just going to let it overlap everything right here and not change. So even though it's going over the top too, I can sketch right over that. You don't have to have yours overlap. But again, the light source, I'm going to keep it from the same direction. And everything is circular. There's no straight edge in it. If you think of it like a pool ball, has a numerical part, that's going to be your highlight. And if you can project everything ringing around that, that's going to be set up for all of your baseline shading. So if I use the side of the pencil now just to kind of put in the first piece, leave the highlight alone. The base tone is going to be instepped in just a little bit so that your darker value is going to be right there. Okay? And that puts it in right there for that piece. And again, since I did overlap, but I'm just going to try to cover up some of the shading just to give it the illusion there. And again, if you kind of concentrically build this up, it gets you the feeling. Again, if you stand up, your motion, your body motion, it's your shoulder down to your elbow, not just your wrist, and you get to feel the whole shape constructing itself and kind of building that up. It's not until I get this pretty well formulated that I'll use the other point, like you're writing, in order to get that pencil line demonstrating the base, so where it's hitting. And obviously it's there. But as you do this circular motion, it just helps your shading as well, because you're just building this up. And it really gets you the feeling if you're concentrically going up into the surface there. And if you did overlap yours, now you have a little bit of the interaction of the other shapes and their values that'll help create this. Same idea with the shadow on this one. It has to be flat. If it was rectangular shape, you'd see it. Now you just have to put the elliptical shape within that area of the length and the width, so it'll build that piece up. It's going a little darker as it goes away, or as it lighter as it goes away. Sorry about that. And I've delineated the edge, but I can use the shading to go up against it, because you kind of lose the edge. There's really no lines in the drawing. It's all the shading that you see. And this is the hardest one, because it's starting to become much more organic right from the top. Hey, hang on. Okay. And now you have a somewhat of a short still life there, kind of made up. Again, just trying to treat it the same way as you would the glass. Find the vertical center lines. These are all perpendicular, right angles to this part. Keeping it loose, has a cylinder inside of it. Gonna have it go right over the top of this. And this has a elliptical shape coming right out of it, a little tapered there, and it does it at the same side here. You can build it off of a square, making an ellipse. This has a couple bands on it. Once you get the initial part, it's just like the glass or anything else that you're shading that's a cylindrical shape. Very easy. Put a little bit of tone there, then just go back in with the accent lines. Just going to draw right over the other piece. Try to incorporate the values, just mixing it in. In this case, I'm just trying to blend in some of the overlap shadow so it reads a little better. And any difference of textures, in this case this has a darker value. It may have a little reflection on the table. Cast shadow too. So again, this is just a cylindrical shape, so wherever you place it, if you have a second airy space, this is kind of duct tape looking. So again, you can find the center line, work with the elliptical shapes, and just continue to build one right up on top of the other. Find the edges, and then again, just kind of highlight. This is probably more opaque than the glasses. I'll let you get in there with that. And when your ellipses go around, they don't have the points to it, so you're trying to build that up there. And again, just kind of taking the same idea. It's nothing more than a cylindrical shape taken off. And if it did have a section coming off, you could just by offsetting a little bit of the shading, it gets a little more of the light wrapping around for a little more of a dimensional look to it. So see how you do that one. So I'm going to put it kind of in the back here, but again, just kind of building up this rectangular shape, and you can do it any which way. These lines are still parallel, so as long as you establish the width and height of this piece. So I'm going to extend this. I'm going to have it hidden behind this a little bit. And that's the initial part of it. To do the screen again is just a rectangular piece. And hopefully you can see how it relates to the Illustrator. Little console panel. It has a little molding going around this side of it. You can see it better this way. And the legs of the TV, so I got a couple of them standing down here. So once you get that part again, you can kind of look at how this is going to build yourself up here. I'm going to just round off the corners for this screen here. Give a little thickness to it. And all these elliptical shapes really are built up off of the square. You can add some of them to it. While it's there, I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of a tone. Blend it off the back here. Old school TV used to be a curved monitor there in the window before your guys' flat screen ability. And again, once you get the initial part down, then you go in and kind of heavy up the lines. Giving all these dials a little bit of a thickness. Section to it. See if you can't. So just 3 things, 3 drawings to help you out. Again, trying to set these pieces up. Giving any kind of shading there.